Hello and welcome to another Blender tutorial brought to you by Louis Art. My name is Emmanuel Okafor and today I'll be showing you guys how to model an African hut from step by step. I recently posted an artwork which people received well, and most people asked me to show how I created this, and that's what I'm going to be doing in this tutorial. So this tutorial is going to have like different parts because I want to break it down to enable you guys actually understand everything step by step. We'll be working with this reference image here, which I got off Google, and the resolution is quite bad, but we to work because that's what I used in creating mine. Before I start any modeling, I import the image or get an image reference. Then I try to break down that image reference down to the bare minimum. That's this because at looking at it first time, it may look a bit complicated, but once you break it down, you'll realize these are just simple shapes that come together to make something look really complicated. So looking at this image, one thing you will notice is the hut. So the shape that stands out is a cylinder. So it's not like a perfect circle, but a cylinder is the closest shape to it. So we should bear that in mind. And also, what you will notice are some woods poking out the mod. So when building a mod like this, you need like a good uh, foundation so that it will not be easily destroyed by natural phenomenon. Like as you're building your house, you need like good rods to make the block stand firm when you try to build on it. So that's something, that's the function of this wood here. So we should bear that in mind. And you also have some wood just going across to make this roof stand appropriately. Oh boy. Finally, we'll be creating this roof, and I'll be showing you guys step by step how I created it. And so let's start up. So let's add a cylinder by pressing Shift A and cylinder. So it's looking at this because I've already modified the default setting. So the vertices is 12. I think I'll just increase it to 15. Do that again. Okay. I set the cap to no fill, and yep. So let's start up. So let's go into the front view and just make the cylinder sit on the grid. And one thing I like to do anytime I'm modeling an environment is to always uh, just move this to collection. So is to always add like a human scale. So this is really, it comes really handy to ensure that you're not, or that the overall scale of your model will look off, because if you don't have like a base standardized scale to work from, even though this is not like it's not an accurate human scale, I just have for everything I have like a human that we serve for the whole project. So it's a good work style. So next is, let's add the doorway, and I think I need to like extend it a bit and scale it out a bit. um I'll just add some edge loops here and here for creating the door. So I like to use the boolean because it gives me better control quickly, and I can quickly play around with what I'm trying to get. So let's do that. Just the modifier, select the boolean. So keep saving because I'm working with the alpha view. So then we select the cube we added and set it to different, and we will just change the viewport display to wire. Okay. Okay. So let's adjust its look. I want to move it in a bit. You know what? I will not worry about. I'll just delete that. Oh, sorry. So delete the face. And just push it in a bit. Okay. So I'm not happy with it. So I will just extend the lower part downwards. Okay. So I like the shape right here, and I think the door is quite big, bigger than the reference. So just scale it down a bit. Cool. So I like this. Then I can go into the modifier and apply it. So inside the edit mode, so let's check if we're going to experience any problem later because of the vertices. The boolean uses a uh, doesn't create like good edge loops, so I want good edge loops so that I when I'm modeling can easily I can easily add more loops around it because we need the detail and we need clean mesh for what we're going to do later. So using the knife I'll just cut in new vertices. Okay, so then select the two edges. Think we have some double mesh, and one quick way to fix it is just remove doubles. Okay, and it's still there. Alt M to center. Okay, so let's join this by pressing J and do that for here too. Okay, so now if we add edge loops it will work perfectly. So because I'm going to be using the multi-res modifier later to sculpt in the details, so we don't want to experience problem later with during that part because of we don't have good edge flow. So right now it looks good, and the next step is to add the roof. So for this first step we're just creating the basic shape. I just noticed that in the concept it's not like a perfect square circle, sorry. So in the front place it's like it becomes more like a square corner, like it has some corners here. So let's do that. Selecting these two edges, I'll go to the top view and just pull it out a bit and scale this out a bit. Okay, so yeah, so I like how it's looking. So let's create the roof. So I'll just duplicate this one and move it out to itself as a separate object. I'll save. So right now we have messed up the circle, but because I still want the roof to be circular, I could just add a new circle object, but I'll just do that. Do this method, delete these vertices, and selecting all, you just press circle, so it creates circle out of any shape, which is really nice. So I'll just scale this up, and in the front view, so let's start modeling the roof. We just extrude it up and scale it in around here. Okay, so you can just turn in the random color so we can easily differentiate between our objects. And I think we need more width there. Let's bring it down. And for the capping. It has a very nice design there, which I'll create now. So extrude. So one nice way I create my rounded corners is after I will just create normal shapes and select the two using the edge select mode and bevel it, so it gives me more rounded corner. um, then I'll just pull this up like that. Okay, so that's that. uh, I will just recalculate the numbers and cool. So if you noticed in the reference here, there's like steps, step by step, so it's not just like a straight triangular shape, cone shape, so it has some cuts. So the way I recreated that cut was just basically adding edge loops, and so right here I'll press V to cut it, then I can scale this a bit in. So don't worry about these gaps, just move it down, scale it down a bit. Okay, so you get the drill. So just the select scale. Wait. So what we get here is like just nice pattern, and we can just use the solidify modifier to do that. So this part of the mesh is like a separate object on its own. So just apply the scale, rotation and scale, set origin. Okay, so this is a separate object, so it doesn't need the solidify modifier. And cool. So I also want to set it as only rim. So that's that done. That's all with that. And next, let's add some solidifier modifier for the heart itself. So this shape is good enough. So let's set it to only rim, so it doesn't feel inside, because we will not be going inside the heart because it will be dark. Cool. So the next step is adding the wood. So this kind of wood here. So for this tutorial, I think they're all just one kind of wood, but we'll just create 3 variations so that they will not all look the same. So using a cube, scale it on the Z axis. Okay, I'll just add some edge loops, and I'm going to delete the faces. So if when creating environment assets, if you can avoid creating unnecessary geometry, you should do that, because when it comes to the environment, you're going to be dealing with lots of geometry. So you want to reduce anything that will increase the calculation at render time or your viewport smoothness. So this is going to be I'll just duplicate this. I can also change the shape. For the shapes, I'll just add random deformations, move it so it doesn't look all perfect, because it's a wood and like a traditional wood, so probably they didn't use any machine to get like perfect cutting. Like when they cut down the tree, they don't have like the machine to like create perfect shape. So it will be like jagged and yeah, something like that. Um, so I think I'm happy with these three shapes. So just center the origin. So you know what? Since I like looking, I'll just add this to the um, my favorite. So when I press Q, I can just quickly center the origin. Okay. So now let's apply this geometry. Let's place it to the object. Let's first create the doorway. So let's put it here. Scale it on the Z axis. So duplicate. Rotate on Z. So we'll just modify the shape a bit. And we can duplicate it again. And just place it. Cool. So I forgot to do something that would have bite me later. I didn't create like UV seams. So just quickly create the UV seams, because since I'm going to be duplicating it, I want it to be already in place for later, because then to be like real work to do it later. So I just remember you can select multiple objects and enter edit mode and create UV seams, which is awesome. Blender 2.8. So I like the shape, and I think I'll just join this object together. Like this one, so it'll be easy to select and join. Cool. I don't need to do again. Let's then place this object in the appropriate place. So I'm going to need like a mirror modifier, because I don't want to have to do it or I don't want to have to do it round by manually. So I will just make sure this has like perfect origin, then assign a mirror modifier to the wood and select this as the mirror object. So if I move this, it moves. Cool. So we can now start placing. And before that, I will just hide this one because it's gonna obstruct us. So in the top view, just start placing. Don't worry, later I will go in, then select it, and then I will then create asymmetry out of it, because I don't want it to look all perfect. Then we can start duplicating. So we have here. Cool. Fill it up, and I think we're good. I think we need to pull it up. So it gets me used to this. So I will just select the bottom half, and with the move, pull it up. Okay, so I think we're done creating the basic shapes and looks good. So as I said earlier, we can apply it. So we don't need to worry because we already created like um, UV sims, which unwrapping it like a separate mesh. It will create even more variation when we apply like a texture. Um, cool. So I also want to smooth it out. You know what? I will not do that. I will just add a bevel modifier and angles. Cool. So I'm happy with the result, and thank you for watching this part one. Stay tuned, like and subscribe so that you get updated because I'll be posting part two very soon.